Hi, and happy Wednesday. It is Wellness Wednesday, and my name is Lauren Baptiste. I am so excited because today is question day. It is a really fun day because I get to just show up for you and hold space for you and the things that matter to you. But before we get started, let me know where you're coming from. Say hello, message me, share your questions. I really want to know what's on your mind. So many of you are joining week after week after week, and you're telling me that you're getting so much from this. But what's on your mind? How can I serve you? And so today is all about serving you and your questions. So we're going to dive right in. But before we do, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lauren Baptiste, and I am the founder of Akalo Wellness. My executive wellness coaching firm focuses on taking empowered, ambitious women leaders, and all of you are leaders, we're all leaders, and helping them thrive. So we break through the effects of burnout and stress so that we can feel great. I share different tools, techniques, mindset shifts so that you can step into your fullest self. In a time that's more stressful than ever with COVID, it's really important that we are doubling down on the things that matter to us so that we can feel great, so that we can live great, do great, be great, because you know what? Why not? Why not step into it? This isn't an easy time for anybody, but it's now time to plan your COVID comeback plan. Let's get into your questions. First, I want to say hello to some of you who had joined. Hello, Mary. Hello, Naushin. Hello, Perry. Hello, Rukmini. Hello, Vicky. Hello, Craig. Hello, so many of you. Hi, Gail. Hi, Chrissy. Thank you so much for joining. It's so awesome to have this little Power Thrive tribe come together. So let's get right into your questions because I know you have a lot on your mind and I am here to serve you. So again, if you're joining me, throw your questions on the message board wherever you're finding this. Even if you're finding this after the live, I'm happy to answer your questions. So write your questions wherever you are. I will see them and I will get back to you. All right, so let's do it. One of the first questions that I am getting a lot and that I've noticed when I'm working with clients is that menstrual cycle has been affected. And the question is, can my menstrual cycle be affected by the coronavirus? And is it okay? And so the first thing I want to say is that yes, it's okay. Your cycle can change. Your menstrual cycle is such a sensitive part of you that it's really important that you understand that it can change so easily. I don't know if you've ever traveled far and you noticed that your cycle was prolonged or came early. I don't know if you've ever been really stressed out and you noticed that you might have had delayed ovulation. Things like that happen because of stress in the body. So this is no different in the world of right now in this corona pandemic. It's really important to know that my body's going to shift. My bowel movements might shift. The way I urinate might shift. The way I menstruate might shift. So it's to be really understanding of what's happening in the body and listening to what it's trying to tell you. So a lot of times I've definitely, even in the past month, I've spoken with a few clients who have said that they're experiencing earlier menstruation than usual, maybe because they're a little less stressed, or maybe for some other reason. So of course I don't know without going into more, and I'm not going to share what other clients are experiencing in more detail, but I will say that if this is happening, you're not the only one. And I think it's really important as we talk about women's health is to allow it to come out, to flow, right? To really just be, because what happens is we hide behind closed doors and we don't talk about our health. One analogy that I like to give is that, and we'll be going into this a lot more in May because May is all about Women's Health Month and we're going to do a deep dive. But one thing that I often say is that for women, right, we go to the bathroom behind closed doors, our emotions, we internalize them, even our ovaries are inside of us, right? Where with men, they pee anywhere, their testes are out, like it's more out and women are more in. And so when we don't talk about these things that are happening, then we're not getting the most of each other. We're not getting the most of all the information that's out there. So next month is really dedicated to that. But I want to just really answer the question and say, yes, it can be affected. Yes, it can change in different ways. Maybe now you're experiencing cramps when you haven't. Maybe the color is changed a little bit. Maybe the timing or the duration of the cycle has shifted. Notice the next 2 or 3 months and just see. Happy to answer any questions as it relates to it. But really right now, just be a witness of what your body is trying to tell you. And you'll learn so much. All right, second question. And feel free, for those of you who are joining late, add your questions to the list. Happy to answer them. So the second question I get are, what are some of your favorite books? And I actually brought them here with me because I love these books. And so the first book I wanted to share is Women Code by Alyssa Vitti. And this is a really powerful book. This was my starter to understanding hormonal health. And it's a Western approach. It trickles in a little, peppers in some Eastern philosophy. But the idea is that you can heal your hormones by eating in accordance with your menstrual cycle. It's a really powerful book. Love it. Recommend it. The second book, this is an Ayurvedic take on women's health. This is all about women's health and hormones, but these are two of my favorite books. These are books I reference often when I'm working with clients, and these are ones that I go to all the time as I'm just trying to deepen my understanding. So Claudia Welch, Balance Your Hormones, Balance Your Life, incredible book that goes into the importance of understanding the Western side and the hormones, and then going into the more Eastern side of how you can find healing through that. Really awesome book. Claudia is an awesome woman. I have the luxury of working with her through my Ayurvedic training, and she is a powerhouse. So yes. All right. Thank you. Next question. So this question is from Gail, and Gail asks, what's the deal with adrenal fatigue? What is it? How does it work? What's going on? How can I deal with it? So really good question. So for those of you who have been with me over the past 3 sessions prior, we've been talking all about adrenal fatigue. Your adrenals sit on top of your renal system. Your renal system are your kidneys. So adrenals are adjacent to your renals, right on top of your kidneys. So these little glands sit on top of your kidneys. And what I like to talk to you about is essentially like, imagine there are a mission control. They're an airport. They have planes that are coming in and out of them all the time. Now when we're talking about the hormone system, in our body, we have many airports, but we have really important ones, right? This is like my LAX, this is my London, right? And in my brain, I have my hypothalamus and my pituitary in my throat, right? Maybe this is your JFK. This is a really important one as well. And so the idea is, you're like, why is she talking about JFK? Here's what's going on. These planes are carrying hormones throughout your bloodstream. And so what's happening is there is a plane that takes off, maybe we call that cortisol, takes off, and it's traveling through the body. And this is your communication. And so it starts with this communication in the hypothalamus and the pituitary, which are in the brain, these glands that really control so much, and then they communicate. So if you've ever heard of the endocrine system, it's about far communication. There is relationship usually to how far the hormones can travel. So the paracrine is more close, endocrine is farther, but usually they just throw it all in endocrine system. If you go to an endocrinologist, they do it all. But the idea is this is the communication in your body. This is what tells your body to be stressful. This is what tells your body to tighten your muscle. This is what the body that tells you to run or to think a certain way. It's your survival. And that is what's happening from your adrenal airport. And so, okay, let's imagine every 5 minutes a plane takes off. Every 5 minutes a plane lands in your adrenal airport. Stay with me now. Okay, now imagine it's like the week of Thanksgiving and airports are clogged with people. Instead of every 5 minutes, planes need to go in and out every 2 minutes. Now, once in a while, they can handle Thanksgiving weekend. It's a big weekend, a lot of travelers, the same with your hormones in moments of stress, right? I have a deadline coming up. I need a lot more action, more in and out. This is where we're starting to pump faster, harder, moving more. But if I don't slow down, if that Thanksgiving weekend never ends, then what's going to happen? My airport's going to never get cleaned because there's just going to always be dirt and pollution. There's going to be a lot of air traffic, crazy. Planes are not going to be able to get in and out. They're going to be delayed. There's going to be a lot of other issues. So the idea is that if my adrenals, if my airport gets tired, oh man, it's not going to be easy to travel. There's going to be long TSA lines, right? We can go on and on with the airport analogy. But are you with me? It's all about making sure there's clear communication, clear channels, and openness in the body. And it's not to say I don't want stress. We need stress to survive, but I need to manage it. So if we're talking about adrenal fatigue and weakness, it's all about finding balance in the body. It's all about reducing stress. So Gail, I hope that answers your question. It's really just talking about what's going on. We are so dependent on what's happening in our adrenal system. So be really mindful of what's happening. And if you're feeling that exhaustion, go back to the past 3 episodes where we talk about adrenal fatigue and ways to combat it and come through it. Thank you for your question. All right, so the next question I wanted to address is, how can I sleep better? I notice that I'm in bed always scrolling. How can I sleep better? And so if you're the type that's in bed, watching your phone, watching TV, doing these things that are not supporting you in falling asleep, then we need to change that. Right now, more than ever, we need to double down on the things that make us feel good and feel whole. So here's how to do it. If you have your phone and say it's your pseudo Kindle device, right? You're using it for a lot of host of things. Get your book and go in airplane mode. That's one way you can manage not scrolling in bed. The other thing you can do is look into apps that help your phone go into black and white color. Because when we see color, we're stimulated. And when we don't see color, we get bored. So if you feel like you're always in bed, especially during the past month, and you just can't go to sleep because you keep scrolling, black and white is an option. But for my cold turkeys out there, the best thing you can do is avoid being on your phone for at least an hour before bed. You got to take your phone, put it somewhere else. And now I know that's not possible for everyone, but if that's possible, get your phone and put it somewhere else. Maybe put it in your closet where you can hear it if someone calls you, but you're not getting up to scroll, right? You need to distance yourself from this device wherever you can. And sometimes we have more freedoms to do that. Other times we don't. But that's why then the do not disturb mode is also a really awesome function and feature in the iPhone. I don't know about Samsung, I'm sorry, but you can look into that as well. I'm sure something like it exists. All right, next question. Okay. In this time, I'm feeling really stressed by COVID. It's been really hard to function. It's been really hard to get into a routine. What can I do about it? Yeah, it's been really stressful. I don't want to underestimate or like downplay that this is a really stressful time. I know it. Every single person I know, including myself, has gotten the rug ripped out from underneath them to some extent, right? Some have different effects than others and to different extents. But I think one thing that's really certain is that we're all affected by what's going on right now. So I want to first say that because it's important to say that. But I also want to say it's time for more. It's time to elevate. It's time to put yourself in a place where you can thrive. It's time for your comeback. And so the best thing I can say for right now, if you're feeling really stressed to the point where you're overwhelmed and it's really even hard to function, focus on regular sleep times, regular meal times, and moving your body for at least 15 minutes a day. See if you can drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Okay? And then the last thing I'd say, even for you, is to find joy in something. Calling a friend, writing a journal entry, painting, do something that brings you joy. These 5 things can really help simply take you from a place of overwhelm to a place of better. And then once I get a handle of I'm a little better, then it's time to full throttle to your COVID comeback plan. And so I'm working with a lot of companies, I'm working with a lot of individuals to develop your COVID comeback plan, because you need to thrive after this. You have that choice, right? Even if you don't have control over the circumstances, how you feel about it, how you go through it, that's your mission, that's your story, that's your comeback. So this is it. This is how we deal so quickly. Oh my gosh, so many questions are coming in and out. These are really beautiful questions, and thank you so much for sending them. I'm going to go through one more question and then we're going to hop. But first I want to say, if you have any questions that feel too private, too personal, too whatever, right? I want to honor your question. I want to support your question, and I want to answer your question. But if you don't feel comfortable sharing, feel free to reach out to me. My email is lauren@akalowawellness.com. You can find me here. You can find us at akalowawellness.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me. Share this with someone you love, someone who might be stressed. So important. All right. And the last thing I wanted to read, one more question, is recently I've been feeling pretty groggy. It's been hard to even get out of bed. It's been hard to do my job. I've been feeling really lazy. What's going on? What can I do? All right. I love this question. Thank you so much for your question. Okay. If you're feeling the malaise of everything going on right now, right? A lot of us who initially think like, I should be getting so much done. I should be so productive. Like, I'm in my house all day, right? I want you to remember that if you're still working, even though you're in your house all day, you still don't have that much more time than you may have. You actually might have less time now, because maybe you're doing things that are more time consuming than they would have been in the past. So I want to honor that time might not be equal. So really be mindful of your time, and notice that it's okay if you're feeling like you're not as productive. But for those of you who are just feeling the heaviness of the springtime season, which is really normal, there's a couple things we can do to feel better. And so we talked about a couple springtime approaches in a previous episode, but a couple things that can really help you get out of bed is, so many things that are coming to mind. One thing that I think is just really powerful is just taking a really strong breath. One breath we can do is Bastrica Breath. And it's really simple. And I'll back up my camera, official camera. And so what we're going to do is you inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, you're going to pound the elbows to the sides of the body. So inhale, exhale. You could do that for 30 seconds and then take a break, and then do it for another 30 seconds, 2 or 3 times. You are going to feel so energized. You don't even need coffee. So literally get out of your bed, sit on the side of your mattress, and Bastrica it up. All right. So this is going to help you. This is going to help you elevate. This is going to help you get more energized. This is going to help you just take on your day. You can do it, right? Why am I here to say this? Because I believe in you. You can do this. You have the potency. You have the power. It is in your hands. Take control of what you can. We talked about this earlier in an earlier episode of COVID. Take control of what you can. Surrender the rest. Wishing you an incredible rest of your day, rest of your week. We do this every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we replay on our website. So feel free to check those out. Join me every single week where we talk about work-life balance, women's health, Ayurveda, and a host of other things. It's an honor and a blessing to be with you. I hope to see you very soon. Be well. Take care.